Hi, this is Sally, and welcome to Heart of a Soul. So, of course, I'm going to start on my videos by thanking everybody that's liking and subscribing to my videos. I do want to ask that you guys start to share, because, like I said, even if you don't feel like this message is for you, it could be for somebody else. And we're all in this together, and we need to help each other, lift each other up, encourage each other, forgive each other, and love each other. Because we're only human, and we we get weak sometimes. And today I wanted to talk about that, finding strength, especially when we don't want to get up, especially when we don't want to get out of bed. Like today, it's cold, it's overcast, it's going to start raining soon, and I do not want to get out of bed. I'm like, it's Friday. I did my work for the week, and I just want to sit here, and I knew that I couldn't. I had to get up. So I got up and went on my walk, did my exercises, I meditated, and I prayed. And these are some of the things that I do to help me find strength. And also, I call my friends and they hear me cry. And, it's important to surround yourself with a good group of people that are going to motivate you and that want to see you succeed and be happy. And those are important too. So those people that are in my life, you know who you are, and I so appreciate you. And I don't know what I would do without you. And if you feel like you don't have those people, ask for it. Put it out there and say, you know what, this is what I need. And I know I refer to God a lot. And again, that's who I find strength in and where I find some of my strength. And maybe you're not religious, but to me, someone put us here and that's who I speak to. Someone makes the birds sing and the flowers grow, and keeps me alive while I breathe. And that's who I call out to. And I decided to started to work out and eat better and really just take care of my body because, one, I need to keep up with my 3 small children, and that takes a lot of energy. And also because it feels good. It's a stress reducer. You're physically strong, and it's the determination that you get to keep getting up every day and keep working out. The hardest thing is to get started. There's been plenty of times where I started and I went hard for like 3 months and then just gave up. But over the last couple of years, when that would happen, I would get back up and I would do it again. And I would get back up and do it again and quit and get back up and do it again. And that'd be maybe 6 months, a year would go by, and I always went back. But it changed for me in the last year or two because I was ready for some major change. I was ready for the next big step in my life. And that's what happens sometimes. You find the strength to do something and you only get so far, and maybe it evens out a little bit and you feel like nothing's happening. Well, then you got to stop and ask yourself, well, what's next for me? Because there's always something next. There's always a bigger step to accomplish and a goal to reach. And we got to keep motivating ourselves and asking ourselves, what is that? What's next for me? What has God got for me next? And I also meditate and I do yoga, and that's another way for me to connect with my body. Just stop and breathe and take what's being given to me. I ask for strength. I ask God for strength and courage and wisdom to get through every day. And then I stop and just allow Him to give it to me, and that's something that works for me. And that's something, and if you feel like that's something that you want to try, look into it, find something that works for you. I really encourage it. And it's not just that, it's, even with yoga, it's taking the time to connect with yourself. And that's really what it's about. It's always going to be always going to come back around to loving yourself, taking care of yourself first. Because it's like when you get on the airplane and the stewardess tells you, you know, you have to put on your mask first before you can help anybody else. And that's really what life is about. You got to take care of yourself before you could even attempt to try to take care of others. And because sometimes when you're around somebody and you need to pour some love into them and you're like, you know what, you got this, and they're crying, but I don't want to, or I'm tired, or you know, and it takes energy from you. And I realized that, and also talking with one of my good friends, and she's been doing that for me lately, and just pouring her heart out. And I thank her. You know, she's such a strong, determined woman, and I really look up to her for a lot of reasons. And it takes a lot, you know, and having those type of people around you, it comes back around, because everybody's in this journey and everybody's trying to figure it out for themselves. And then, you know, but you got to remember the people that are there for you. So when it comes back around, you got to take notice that, you know what, they need me, and I'm going to give it back to them now. And, you know, I learned that this past week between some of my friends in a situation where I realized, you know what, that person needs me. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put my feelings aside, whatever I got. I'm going to give them my undivided attention, and I'm going to let them know that they got this. They could do it. And it's hard. It's hard. Like I always keep saying, no one wants to do the dirty work. No one wants to get in there and admit they were wrong and apologize, or even not even having to like go to the person's face and apologizing, just or ask or you know, forgiving somebody. You know, you don't have to tell them, hey, I forgive you. If you know in your heart that you forgive them or that you apologize, then that's between you and God. That's between you and your maker, or, you know, you and your future self, to know that, you know what, I did that. I did it from the heart. And that's an energy that you give. And, you know, so I have some of these things that, and like I tell you, I cry and I get tired and I get weak. And I mean, because I show up, no makeup, hair in a bun, hoodie on, because I have a lot of days like that. And I'm not going to lie, because it's not easy. It's not easy. And I really believe that that's why a lot of people don't do it. But I encourage you to. I encourage you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know you and you don't know me, but like I said last time, I've found myself in a dark place, and I had nowhere else to go but to look for light. And maybe you're not in so much of a dark place, but you know that there's something greater, something more that you should be doing. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong, you know, with these things that society taught us that are signs of weakness. You know, we're just human. God gave us these emotions for a reason. And it's time to start acknowledging them and embracing them and taking them for what they are. Yes, people hurt us. Yes, we've been through some hard things. And it was something that somebody might have did to you. Something, you know, that you didn't ask for. You didn't ask to be hurt. You didn't ask to go through these things. But this time around, you're acknowledging your hurt. You're acknowledging your pain for yourself. It's not that you're inflicting any pain on yourself, but it's like having a good cry. Once you cry, you let it out, you vent, you let somebody know how you feel, and then you feel better. And that's really what it is. But it's a constant thing, because constant growth, always remembering to, you know, stay in the most positive attitudes possible, and forgiving yourself. Learning to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you've made is one of the hardest lessons that I've been learning, because I could regret a lot of things, but I'm learning not to, because I really believe that God put me in those situations and it was up to me to make those decisions, and I acknowledge that I made the wrong decision, but I'm not going to anymore. And that's the point. You don't have to keep making the same mistake. You don't have to keep hurting people. You don't have to keep self-sabotaging yourself. You know, and today I'm just like going off the top of my head because I'm just really feeling like it should come from my heart. And the way things have been going for me, I'm really trying to embrace that. So I encourage you to find things that you could find strength in, whether it's leaning on, finding friends that you could lean on, whether it's exercising, whether it's praying. Maybe you're not really, I left religion a long time ago, but there's a lot of truth in it. It's just that religion kind of constructed it to benefit itself. But there's a lot of truth in it, because when it comes down to it, it's about self-love. It's about loving each other. It's about loving the earth that we live in, you know. So when you start to acknowledge all those things and you start to appreciate the things that are around you, and even the lessons that you've learned, the experiences that you had to go through, the pain that you had to feel, I thank God for that every day, because if he didn't give me those things, I wouldn't be where I'm at, doing what I'm doing, trying to encourage you people to do the same thing for yourself. And like I said, I'm not ever going to sugarcoat it. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. You would have never known that I was crying this morning. Okay. But I know I have to release a lot of pain that I'm still holding on to, because like I said, this is my messy middle and I'm still working through it. But you know, find something that works for you. Start taking walks, reading, boxing. If you have a lot of aggression that you need to let out, you know, start punching a punching bag. But because you love yourself, and do it with love. You know, do it from a place that you're doing it because you need to let this aggression go, because you're tired of holding on to it. You're tired of feeling heavy. You're tired of carrying this anger and frustration and pain around with you. And I want to tell everybody that, you know, just be nice to each other. Be nice to each other, because you really never know what anybody else is going through. And so that's my message for today. Again, thank everybody. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I hope to see you on the next video.